Hi and welcome to our very special launch event. Today we are about to unveil a completely new data governance and data management platform, Ataccama 1 Generation 2. My name's Francis, I am one of the technical writers here at Ataccama.
My name is Michael Klaus, I'm Ataccama CEO. Ataccama is known as a leading provider of high-performance, robust data management and data governance technology, serving hundreds of enterprise clients worldwide.
Our event is taking place in the beautiful city of Prague, where Ataccama software is engineered.
Today, we are excited to announce a new generation of our existing successful Ataccama 1 platform, which will revolutionize the way organizations are finding, processing, governing and using their data. Today, we are bringing the self-driving experience to data management and data governance.
So let's talk a bit more about self-driving.
Self-driving cars will represent a major shift in individual transportation. People will be able to reclaim 1 to 2 hours daily spent driving, mundane activity with very little added value. With Ataccama 1 Generation 2, we are about to bring the same shift to the way organizations manage and govern their data.
Shall we use the car to demonstrate?
It's a great idea.
Okay, so in time, how will the car revolutionize the user experience?
So the biggest difference with the real self-driving car is that all you need to do is to specify where you headed, and the car will do everything else. It will overtake other cars, and hopefully we will see that it will take the right exit from this highway.
And now you can sleep for 20 minutes.
So few other things that the car can already do, we can hopefully see right now, is that it actually observes the traffic lights. So it will stop for the red traffic light here. It will get going again when the traffic light turns green. It actually watches also for some traffic signs. It watches for pedestrians, cyclists, and things like that.
Okay, so from home to office, or from intent to result in one step, this is all very easy to visualize in terms of the car. But how does this work in the context of data management? How does self-driving work in the context of data management?
So we have used the car analogy because what you just described as intent to result is exactly what we are bringing to the data management and data governance field.
Can you give some examples?
I can give few examples. A very simple example is a business analyst responsible for purchase orders, right? Something's suspicious is on a report, and the analyst wants to see if it might be a problem with the quality of the data. So she will only ask the platform, give me the data quality of our purchase orders over the course of past 2 months. And that's it, the platform will deliver the result. A little more complex example, let's say we have a compliance officer who needs to understand where the organization is storing the PII data. He will only ask the platform in which data sources we have PII data, and the platform will actually deliver it. And the most complex and probably the most valuable example is when the consumer is not actually a human, a person, but it's a system, it's some kind of algorithm. So let's say organization is building a new self-care portal, and what's needed is customer and product ownership information. So whoever is preparing the data for this will ask the platform for an API that contains the customer and product ownership information, and the platform will actually provide the API.
Okay, so leveraging AI in data management, what are we doing that's so revolutionary?
So there are products in, let's say, the specific areas, like small products, where AI is applied on the level of the individual module, right? Like data cataloging or something like that. But the big difference is that we have built the Ataccama 1 Generation 2 from the ground up, which means we were able to unify those disciplines, and using AI we are able to automate the processes across those disciplines. So this is our development center. That's where the actual event will take place.
Okay, so this new journey or process, how does it contribute to actual business goals?
Yeah, there are a few things where it brings a lot of value to businesses. First of all, any digital transformation just cannot succeed without giving everyone across the organization instant access to high-quality governed data, which is exactly what our platform does. Second, it's all about speed and time to value. Anything that organizations are doing is actually eventually going to be based on data product, some kind of data set. With the current way organizations are preparing those data sets, where it takes weeks or months, is just not, competitive in any way. And last but not least, we've seen with our customers there is a growing tension between, let's say, people focused on agility, delivering business results fast, and people who are focused on doing things in the right way. Let's say people focus on governance, not only data governance, but governance in general sense. With our platform, the governance is built in, and we are able to provide the data instantly, so the conflict basically disappears completely.
Okay, so let's go and see what functionality is available in Ataccama 1 Generation 2.
Let's do that. Hello again. Today we will be showing you many highlights and updates to the Ataccama 1 platform. The second generation delivers industry-changing benefits. Ideally, it is used to cover end-to-end use cases rather than targeting separate data management and data governance problems. At the same time, the platform does remain modular, and the modules can be used independently. The second generation of Ataccama 1 will revolutionize the data experience. It is important to empower the data people by giving them the ability to easily find, understand, process, and use company data assets. 2, by providing them with access to trusted and high-quality data fit for purpose, while always maintaining compliance with data privacy and other regulations. Data governance cannot be a one-off exercise. It should last and allow users to do more with less effort. All that thanks to intelligent automation across the data management and governance disciplines. With that said, let me hand over to David Kolinek, our VP of Product Management, who will show us how users can find any data in a single search. David, the stage is yours.
Hi, I'm David Kolinek, VP of Product Management at Ataccama. The first thing every company needs is an easy way to find data. It really shouldn't be more complicated than searching for information on Google. It's not only about the technical users anymore. It has to work for any user, even those with less technical skills. That is what our researchers focused on in the Ataccama 1 platform. Finding data has never been easier. Just start typing and get results with automatic suggestions. The platform learns what's most relevant for you and others and provides the most important information right there on the search screen. But it doesn't end there for the users, right? They need more detailed information to understand if the result they get is what they were looking for. Ataccama enables this with multiple features. First of all, you have the ability to understand what's inside the data with built-in data previews. So you can take a peek without needing help from anyone. But it's not only that. The data is automatically profiled, so everyone understands what's really inside. At a glance, they can see content, top values, the typical format of the data, and even more advanced information such as possible outliers or duplicates in the data. Many times, you need to be able to understand how the data was created, calculated, transformed along the way. or you need to understand where the data is being used to assess potential impacts. This is now easily accessible with built-in data lineage. And this is not the typical technical lineage you are familiar with. We use the benefits of Ataccama One platform to augment your experience by showing you additional information such as data quality, business terms, and other information. But more on that later. In Ataccama One, you can flexibly manage your business glossary, define business terms, and structure them as you need. You can also see some aggregated statistics about each term and domain. The best thing is it doesn't limit you at all. It's flexible. You can keep track of any metadata. Doesn't matter if it's KPIs, reports, machine learning models, APIs, systems, or virtually anything else. This gives your users the ability to understand not only systems, but also things like BI reports, showing them how they were created, what data was used, and giving them the business description with relevant business terms linked to this. That way, your people will stop asking for the same reports multiple times. They'll know it already exists. So to wrap this up, you've seen how easy it is for any user at your company find data, understand it, and know that it can be trusted. Key features are the smart search with natural language processing, auto suggestions, and data profiling to give a quick peek into the content of the data, plus business terms management, augmented data lineage, and the report catalog. With your data cataloged, it's also important to keep up with ever-increasing and expanding regulations, GDPR, CCPA, Privacy Acts, you name it, and still more to come. Knowing that, it's important to be ready, not only for what's already here, but also for the things to come. Let me share with you how we can help you get compliant with regulations and how you can protect your sensitive customer data. Let's start with defining regulations. Anything from data protection to Basel Accords can be defined in the tool along with any other policies. Thanks to our engine that continuously scans systems and the data, it automatically detects data domains and assigns business terms without you needing to do anything. So no matter what, if there is a new system created or a new table added, you will stay on top of the regulations and protect your data automatically. You can then easily configure policies to mask data, redact, or hide data, and metadata for different user groups or users, like limiting access to personal data. Sensitive data is only for the risk department? No problem, it's super easy to define. The policies are applied everywhere, regardless of whether users use the data preview function, or someone calls an API, or you access the data from our processing engine. The same policies will be applied globally. And this leads to another key feature that enables data democratization for data-driven companies, creating a data marketplace for your users. Data marketplace is like a shop with your data. It will not only allow your users to find the data, but to work with it. Download your file. We are even working on a feature giving you the ability to directly work with the data with your preferred BI tools. And if that is not enough, you can still use our powerful Ataccama One desktop app to modify the data with hundreds of built-in data transformation functions. So to summarize compliance, with centralized policy management, access restriction, and automated data protection, your users will have easy access to all company data, and at the same time, you and your customer data will be protected at all times, keeping you compliant with regulations. You are probably now asking how all of these things are possible. How can we automate them? Will they stay up to date over time? Or is it going to be the same old story? Data governance done once and then lost over time, unused. The answer is this. What you've seen so far is a fully automated data catalog and governance solution. All of the things happening in the platform are done automatically. So you just need to choose which system should be connected via pre-built adapters. And they can be in cloud or on-premise. Then you can ask the platform to either import only metadata or let the platform fully automatically document the system. This is not one-off thing, it's a continuous process. So all the things are constantly updated. Documentation process will scan your data, run the data profiles, create data profile samples, run data lineage, and even run data quality rules, so your data is reliable. And with that, let me hand this over to Roman, our CTO, to show you how we integrate data quality management with the platform, so that the users not only see the data, but have trust in it, and can improve the data quality over time. Roman, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Roman Kučera, and I am the CTO at Ataccama. In Ataccama 1, data quality is automatically monitored on all levels, from attributes to entities, over to systems, even aggregated on business terms and data domains. Our users have an instant overview of what's happening with their data. And not only that, you continuously see how the quality develops over time, if it is getting better or worse. But obviously it is getting better in this case. We don't just do simple checks, as is often the case. It's not about counting null values. You need much more than that. Ataccama is different. It offers a full-fledged data quality monitoring and cleansing solution. There are essentially two complementary approaches you can take. The easy way is to let AI do everything. Even when we are not sure what the rules should be, the tool can still learn from history and detect anomalies based on that. We apply different machine learning algorithms to detect irregularities in data loads, including data volume changes, outliers, and changes in other data characteristics. The solution collects user feedback and automatically improves over time. Your data stewards and system owners will be notified about anomalies in their data, so they can act quickly to resolve them. If you already know the exact validations required for specific attribute or domain, you can also complement the AI approach with expert rules. This can be done directly in the same user interface with the flexibility to check the data against reference data, apply logical sentence-like conditions, or use the standard Ataccama expression language. And if you need something even more complex, you can always use our Ataccama desktop application. With hundreds of built-in algorithms, it allows for the implementation of even the most complex rules. The desktop application is fully integrated with the rest of Ataccama 1, meaning you can use all the metadata from the catalog when implementing the rule. Once the rule is implemented, it is immediately available in the web interface as well. We have also redesigned the issue tracking module. It allows you to track your data quality issues and let users and data stewards act on them, with automatic validations, approval workflows, or integration with the main remediation platforms. Data quality is applied throughout the whole platform, in the catalog on any listing, data lineage, and even in the master data management part of the solution. The tool also uses AI to detect potential reference data in your datasets. This can then be used in business rules to validate your data, but you can also manage it like your master data, make changes and approve new versions. What we have seen so far is all part of the data catalog. It gives you much more information about your data assets than any other solution on the market. Everything from data profiling to data lineage, anomaly detection, relationship discovery, and built-in enforcement and data quality monitoring. So this is our new Ataccama 1 data management and governance solution, combining multiple disciplines in one tool. A self-learning platform with data discovery, anomaly detection, business rules, data standardization rules, issue tracking, and notifications for users when something goes wrong. Moving on, we all know that data quality is just one important piece. Quite often, we might find the right data set, but some information is missing. Maybe it is stored somewhere else. The data isn't always integrated or consolidated from multiple systems. With this release, we have made our multi-domain master data management solution even better. There are several major updates, which I will walk you through. Our master data management user interface was updated along with the rest of the solution to be even more user-friendly and to integrate AI features that help speed up the implementation process. You get all the features of our former master data admin tool, just better than before. You can edit master data, author new data, and manage golden records. You can also connect external data sources, see the relationships and hierarchies to understand your data better. There is also an improved side-by-side comparison for easy verification of automated merging rules, or, if needed, as a manual override. All of this is connected by a flexible and configurable workflow. Any changes you can move around the company for all the necessary approvals. Your data stewards will be notified about any issues or tasks in need of their attention. The platform now also supports self-improving matching rules, giving you potential matching suggestions and learning from your interactions. Aside from implementing expert business rules for matching, AI will now suggest new matching rules for you. And as we follow explainable AI principles everywhere, the AI suggested rules are in the same editable format you already know. Whatever you missed with your expert team can be easily detected automatically and applied to the data anyway with just a couple of clicks. And last but not least, our MDM solution offers strong integration with data profiling, data quality management, and the business glossary. Things like automatic relationship discovery will help you actively speed up the model development. With all of the metadata at hand, modeling and integration is now faster than before. You can implement an enterprise MDM hub in as short a time as 3 months. And with that, I will hand things back over to Michael to wrap it up.
Thank you, Roman and David. And now, let me welcome you to a new age, powered by intelligent automation. A new age where your data catalog, data quality, master data management, and data governance work in sync. A new age where your platform gets better every day just by learning from user interactions. It's the same as with the self-driving cars. The functions were built to work together. One generation tool, automation, is dynamic and intelligent thanks to its unique architecture. It is the only platform where your data and metadata is managed in one place, which also means that you need fewer tools and that users can learn one and know it all. The user interface is built and tailored to different user groups, from business users to data stewards to data engineers. Just define what you want to do and the platform will figure out how. Catalog your data environment, monitor and improve data quality, cleanse, standardize, or deduplicate data. Or let the platform give you relevant advice, identify reference data, suggest rules, or uncover PII data. All taken care of. That's Ataccama 1 Generation 2. Data catalog, data quality, master data management, and data governance in one unified automated platform. But you don't have to take our word for it. Some of our customers in the past few months started to use the alpha version. One of the brave ones is Avast, the leading provider of antivirus solutions with more than 400 million subscribers. Let me welcome Mirek Umlauf, Chief Data Officer of Avast.
Hi, I'm Mirek Umlauf, Chief Data Officer here at Avast. Avast is the online security company. We protect more than 435 million users around the globe, and we have more than 12 million paying PC customers. We have grown organically through our freemium business model, and we also have grown through mergers and acquisitions. M&As brought us many systems, and our system, technology, and data landscape became very complex. In 2018, we faced a double challenge. It was a GDPR, and also we went public on London Stock Exchange. Ataccama Master Data Management helped us to get customer data under control. I believe that complex doesn't have to be complicated for people, although we have hundreds of systems and applications. Being a publicly listed company and facing the new regulations around the globe, we need, in every moment, the right assurances for our investors, our customers, and also for our colleagues. What's important is the data protection, metadata, the data lineage, and also data discovery to help people find the right data when they need them. All this formed our new data governance maturity ambition, which goes beyond data warehousing, beyond the data lake. It involves all the systems, people, and processes. Our ultimate goal is to enable everyone in Avast to be a responsible data owner, which can be daunting for people. And to remove this uncertainty, we are providing our colleagues with a tool which will allow them to perform their day-to-day jobs without worrying about breaching a policy. Automating data governance, including catalog and policy enforcement, are the two key objectives we are achieving through the implementation of the next generation of Ataccama 1.
We believe that disruption starts with good data that's easily available and fit for purpose. Good data empowers your company to innovate and grow through data-driven decisions. We've offered 2 free data profiling tools for several years now, Ataccama One Data Profiler and DQ Analyzer. DQ Analyzer is a desktop application that has been on the market since 2015. It's used by single individuals to people who are self-employed, to universities, students, small and large organizations. It's been used for things as simple as profiling a single file or complex business processes such as checking business rules on a regular basis. It's used by over 200 plus universities all around the globe, including some who use it for educational purposes as part of their classes or curriculums. Data Quality Analyzer is making data literacy possible all around the globe. Ataccama One Profiler, on the market since 2017, is the cloud version of our data profiling and discovery offering. It has run over 80,000 data profiles for over 8,000 registered organizations. We have decided to take data literacy to the next level to help companies, individuals, and universities get access to professional tools for free. So today we are proud to announce 2 new freemium tools that address some major needs of most organizations. Let me tell you more about it. Lots of companies are lacking when it comes to properly integrated data and preparing it for business use. Lots of data preparation tasks are still done in tools not fit for purpose, such as Sheets or Excel. According to our users, the biggest missing piece in our free DQ Analyzer tool is the ability to act on results. We're thrilled today to announce Ataccama Data Prep. It will be an add-on to our Data Quality Analyzer tool, allowing you to use hundreds of built-in functions for data preparation, such as filtering data, joining datasets, writing to files and databases, in such a way that anyone can now run powerful data preparation and integration jobs directly from their laptop. And if you decide one day you want to use it for the enterprise, you can always upgrade to our full stack and still use and run what you created before at scale, running it with server workflow. More functionality and of course with our support. A major enabler of data-driven disruption is to give your employees access and visibility into your organization's data sources. As such, we believe every company should have a data catalog solution in place, giving your users a search engine for the data. To help make that happen, we're announcing a freemium version of our data catalog. It will be accessible from the Azure Marketplace or can be available in our Platform as a Service framework. Use will be limited by the number of entries, not by the number of users. So you can still use it company-wide. And if your users like it, upgrading is always easy. And now for the best part. The 2 work together. You can use the free data prep tool with the free data catalog. This means you can easily read the data in your catalog, transform it, and create new data sets while still maintaining your access policies. And this will help organizations achieve better data readiness and give lots of people the opportunity to become better educated in data, its use and benefits for the business. And because the tools are for free, it will help a lot of organizations get started with data readiness. And along with these freemium offerings, we will be investing into our data people community, giving you the tools and resources you need to power data revolution in your companies, to become agents of change within your organization, educating on the benefits and best practices for using data. We're enabling the startup sprint, agility, speed, and flexibility, even in enterprise organizations. And more is coming. We'll be producing more data-related content, from webinars to blogs, to new series of training videos, an on-demand training program and podcasts, all under our Data People sessions. We're bringing together all data people in one community, offering the chance for you to become agents of change in your organization. And now, over to Afshin, our EVP, who's going to tell you a bit more about our new revamped cloud offering.
Thank you, Kushi. The current global situation has accelerated the digital transformation of many companies. It has even sped up the move towards the cloud. It's on everyone's roadmap. We're leading the way and we're giving you Ataccama in the cloud better than ever before. We have revamped our cloud offering with a brand new, built from the ground up platform as a service where we take care of everything for you. From monitoring to SLAs, to guaranteed RPO, RTO, to patching environments, or to simply giving you the space to focus on using your software instead of just keeping it running. We build a new path above industry standards on the Kubernetes infrastructure so that it's easily scalable, giving us unlimited possibilities in the future to scale and to extend your cloud services. On the back end, we work with native services to ensure data protection, security, backup, high availability, and everything else that you would expect. We work with the best cloud infrastructure providers. Our PaaS runs on AWS, Azure. All of this gives you the ability to start using Ataccama One faster than ever and better than with anyone else. You can be up and running in just one day and start prototyping immediately. We ship Docker images and Helm charts as part of our products so that you can deploy on the Kubernetes environments of your choice, such as Google Cloud Platform or anything else for that matter. If you prefer to go with on-prem deployment, we can help with that as well. And if you have some apps on the cloud, SaaS and PaaS, and some still on-prem, you can set up hybrid environments with Ataccama One. It supports distributed environments, edge computing, can be deployed on cloud or on-prem, and you can monitor and control your data between systems. For those of you who prefer single-click deployment, we have a data catalog freemium on Azure Marketplace. We also provide bring your own license for both AWS and Azure. We're excited to have a comprehensive cloud offering with a second generation of our Ataccama One platform, giving our clients the ability to innovate faster and to work in both cloud and hybrid environments with ease. And with this, back to you, Michael, to wrap this up. Michael, the camera is yours.
Thank you, Afshin. Thank you, Kushi. Before we continue with the live Q&A, we have one more exciting announcement. Beta version of Ataccama One Gen 2 is now available on demand to a limited number of customers. If you are interested, please visit our website or reach out to our sales team. Beta customers are entitled to 6 months of free use, and stay tuned for GA version coming up in February 2021. We are looking forward to helping you build a modern organization where data people will be driving the change.
Thank you for joining us today.
And please join us for live Q&A and other follow-up events.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I hope you guys enjoyed the live launch of Ataccama 2 generation, Ataccama 1 Generation 2, the next generation of platform and governance. I wanted to welcome you all. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're joining us today. My name is Afshin Lotfi. I'm the EVP of Global Sales for Ataccama. I'm joined, who will be helping me to moderate the live Q&A session. We're very excited to see there's been quite a panel and many other platforms. So I do welcome you all to continue posting your questions on the chat. You need to interact with us and ask questions. Be more than happy to analysts today. Let me introduce you to our panelists. Here with us on our virtual stage, Michael Klaus, Ataccama CEO, Roman Kuchera, Ataccama CTO, David Kolinek, VP of Product Management, and Kushi Sharma, Director of Business Development. I'm going to hand it off to the questions on the live chat, and we'll have a panelist provide their feedback on your questions. Joe, would you like to start with the first one?
Would love to. Thank you very much, Efshin. Hi, everybody. Just wanted to also take the chance to welcome you here. And the first question we've got is for Michael. Michael, we have someone who's asking about how Ataccama differentiates from other data management or data governance platforms.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks for the question. And actually, before I answer the question, thanks to everyone who joined. It's amazing to see so many people in this day and age where the digital world is so crowded. So how do we differ from other data management platforms? The term data management is actually quite broad. It can mean many things to many people. In our case, we've been historically focused on that part of data management, which is, in general sense, taking raw data and curating it in a sense and providing. Someone should mute themselves. We're taking the raw data and curating it, improving it, monitoring it, and providing it to users and systems. So we've been always focused on that part of data management when you actually have an engine which improves the data in general sense. Now, what we did with Generation 2 is we still, of course, have that, and we've made it much easier thanks to the automation and thanks to integrating the various functions of, in general sense, data improvement. That's one thing how I think we differentiate and how we made it easier. And the other thing is, with this generation, we actually did venture into the field where we typically didn't play, let's say, and it is that part of governance which deals with policies and procedures. So in Gen 2, you have a way to define policies, and every usage of data is then governed by those policies. So that's how we differ. That's also how we position ourselves. Now, I assume, Joe, the question was a generic question based on the Erwin question. So with Erwin and any other case tools or metadata management tools, we of course can integrate. We can import the metadata. We can provide the metadata in many, let's say, integration patterns. I hope I'm answering the question.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Michael. We've got another question now related to the cloud. Someone is asking how data is integrated between on-prem and cloud environments. Maybe Roman, as our CTO, that would be a great question for you.
Yes, thank you for the question. So the typical scenario today is that you might have some data sources in cloud, others might be on-premise, maybe in different locations. So in this case, we would install Ataccama 1 in one place wherever you want. Typically today it would be in cloud. But there would be a small component that would be installed closer to your data set, typically, for example, in each on-prem location where you want to really profile larger volumes of data. So you don't have to move the data over. The processing would run locally, and only the metadata is transferred to the central repository in this case.
Perfect. Okay, thank you very much. We've got another question here. Someone is asking about the automated cataloging. Does it use a lot of resources? David, I'd say this could be a question right up your alley.
Sure, happy to. So the data cataloging is optimized. So we are basically sorting the assets by relevance and only trying to scan tiny samples and then continue with only the relevance asset to like additional stages, let's say. So in order to make sure the consumption is low as possible, we are making the cataloging actually multi-step process to consume as little resources as possible.
Perfect. Thanks very much. That's a great answer. We have someone here who's asking about certain reference models, if you can import industry reference models. Is there anyone here who can take that one?
I can take this one. Mm-hmm. The platform is completely open, so we can also import and export any metadata. And obviously, metadata models is one of the types of metadata we work with really frequently. So importing models from Power Designer or Urban, again, it's definitely not a problem. This is supported, and we can do the same for export. So everything you saw in the video, you saw it on the front end, but you can access the same information through API as well, and obviously you can import it as well.
Perfect. Maybe a more general question. Michael, I think this one would be for you. Someone is asking about if we'd be able to use this kind of technology to help with the current COVID situation around the globe.
Of course, that would be very well. The technology is actually very well suited for even these types of problems. We actually did offer the technology to governments, and we had gotten some interest, some feedback. At the same time, unfortunately, the data processing for this is so political that it really is. I think the decision making in this case is less concerned with how well you are actually collecting and processing the data, on positive cases, on testing, etc. It's more driven by politics rather than the best practices in data management, unfortunately.
Perfect, thank you. I know we have a lot of customers in industries that are facing, let's say, regulatory types of challenges, maybe something similar to the self-driving car industry. So, Michael, would you see there like any kind of analogy between these two things?
So, let's say in the car industry, and you can see the self-driving or autonomous cars proliferating, right? There was just this announcement, I believe it was Walmart. Then you have Honda announcing, everyone is announcing that they will have the self-driving car, which is great development, I think. And there are, of course, questions about how this basically software will be regulated, and who eventually is responsible, whether it's the driver or the car maker or who is responsible in case of an accident. So there the legislation is a little bit behind. There is work being done on this legislation, but it's nowhere near to be finished. Now, in the data industry, I think we are much further, both in terms of the generic data governance and privacy regulations. Let's say it started with GDPR in Europe, then it kind of extended to the world, the US, CCPA, CPRA, all the regulations. Then you have the industry regulations, which deal basically again with the data management, data governance. So I believe in data world, the regulation is really much more advanced, much more developed. Now, the interesting thing, which does relate a little bit to what we are doing, but it's more related to, let's say, the data science, right, is the governance and responsibility for the decisions being made by, in general sense, machine learning algorithms. This is an interesting topic, and I don't think it's clear what the outcome should be or will be.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Let's see. Maybe an open question to the panel. We have a question related to the business. How can users of Ataccama 1 Gen 2 maximize the value of investments maybe they've already made in some business rules or metadata in their legacy tools? Tough question. Anyone looking to answer this?
I can take it.
Okay.
I've noticed, if I'm not mistaken, it's from Steve. Hello, Steve. Nice to see you. So you're absolutely right. Most organizations have something in place. It might be in, let's say, legacy form. It might be in Excel. It might be in some other rule or metadata management tool. When we actually kind of get introduced to a customer like this, we always try to leverage anything that's possible, including this type of metadata, including the rules. So we actually do have customers where we were able to take the rules in Excel or rules from some other technologies, other tools, and semi-automatically convert those rules that they work within Ataccama. I won't claim it's fully automated. You can imagine it's a difficult task, but we can definitely, let's say, accelerate the process of migration if the migration is the case. If the customer decides to actually keep, let's say, the environment where the rules are maybe created in one place and then used in another place, we can do that as well. In that case, the automation is a little more tricky. So the typical scenario is that we take, let's say, the business description of the rules, and we, of course, synchronize them with our catalog. And then in our catalog, because our catalog, of course, is automatically connected with the data quality management, we actually accompany the rules by, let's say, the expressions that are then executable by the data quality engine. And if I was to generalize the question, the platform, of course, brings the most value when you use it, the whole platform, but it is still modular, and we did pay a lot of attention so that we can work with other modules in place of our modules.
Perfect. Thanks very much, Michael. I think this will be a question for Roman. Someone is asking about anomaly detection features. Can it be used concurrently with PII features in the platform?
Yes, absolutely. So these are quite complementary. So on one hand, we are detecting that there are, whether there is basically PII, whether there is some other type of business domain. At the same time, on the same data, we are looking for anomalies. And the anomaly can be that there is suddenly a new type of PII that wasn't there before, or it can be that in an attribute where you had email, suddenly there are phone numbers, maybe you have different policies for these and so on. So those would immediately kick in. So there is actually three things going on together, right? One is the detection of domains. The other thing is detection of anomalies. And then the last one here is the policy that actually kick off if we detect one of the domains. So definitely these three are complementary.
Perfect. Thanks very much. So we have a question here from Laura asking about aggregating disparate data. When we receive the data, will we know where it came from, how it's been modified, and whether it's fit for purpose? Maybe David, this sounds like a question for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. So in a nutshell, this is what data catalog is for, right? All of the informations you mentioned in the question are actually stored in the data catalog, starting with data lineage, starting with information about the system this data is coming from, about the content of the data. So we are trying to provide as much information as possible as the people using the data catalog and looking at this asset as have really comprehensive overview of the content. So and they can base some analysis on that.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. Let's see. We've got a question about the freemium tools. How do they basically relate to, or how do they fit into the whole Ataccama 1 Gen 2 platform? Kushi, maybe you would want to take this one, or Michael?
Yeah, I'm happy to take this one as well. So those of you who know us know that we always had, I think, very capable offering on that front. It was the DQ analyzer, and later the cloud-based or browser-based one profiler. Now with the Gen 2, we are actually introducing, let's say, extension of the DQ analyzer, which people will be able to use not only to discover or profile the data, but also to actually do some transformations, integration. So you can think of it as a data prep tool. So that's one part. And the way it fits into the platform is the same as it was with DQ Analyzer. Anything that you design, configure, develop in this tool, you can, of course, later reuse in the commercial version if you decide to acquire one. Now, the other part of free is not a free tool, but we are offering 6 months of free use to, let's say, early adopters, not as early as the alpha customers we saw a couple of minutes ago, but the ones that will be willing to use the beta version.
Perfect. Thanks very much. We've got a couple questions here around data lineage. How do you build data lineage? What's the source for data lineage information? And also about how we're working together with Menta. Maybe David, that sounds like it could be a question for you.
So you actually answered one of the questions with the last word, how we use Manta. We are building data lineage through the partnership with a company called Manta. That's the provider of the lineage. So Manta is basically parsing the SQL scripts, procedures, ETL jobs, and generating the data lineage for us. What we are doing is we are enhancing the information available in the application and adding the metadata we have in the platform, information about the data quality, about anomalies, about the business terms. So all of this is available thanks to the partnership with Manta. We are using the technical lineage Manta is providing, adding a business layer on top of that, and obviously we are showing this on all levels possible. So on an attribute level, on a table level, and also on a system level in an aggregated way.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. A couple of questions around, let's say, Ataccama 1, the classic version, and our new Gen 2. Someone is asking if they should wait to go ahead and start with Gen 2 right away. A few are asking about migrating from Generation 1 to Generation 2. Michael, what do you think?
So I can tell you how we approached it from our end. With the introduction of beta version, and maybe I should describe the Gen 2, how it compares to let's say Generation 1. With Gen 2, you will get basically the same functionality that you're getting with Generation 1. The difference is on the user front-end layer. I mean the browser front-end layer, especially in the cataloging, data quality, anomaly detection, and profiling. That's kind of brand new user interface. The existing, let's say, bigger modules like master data management, reference data management, they are integrated into Gen 2 in the same way they were integrated into Gen 1. With the introduction of the beta version, we will be offering and showing and doing POCs for customers or those who are interested already using the Generation 2. So I think that if you have a requirement or a project in this specific area that we are covering, you should definitely give it a try with Generation 2.
Perfect. Great answer. Someone who would like to hear a little bit more about how our product relates to data literacy. What are we doing to improve data literacy around the globe? The big question.
Okay,
what do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I can take it. So going back to the use case of data marketplace, what we are basically trying to do is provide the best data there is, not only by searching for the data, but also improving the quality. So we are trying to make this really seamless, that anybody at the company who is interested in finding some data can get it instantly, if it's allowed based on the defined policies. And we are focusing actually on the adoption of the solution. Once you get the Ataccama 1 adopted throughout the whole company, and everybody will have access to it, and people will start going to Ataccama 1 for data, it improves the adoption very well, and basically speeds up the decision-making process in the business, as they will have better data to support their decisions. So for us, we are trying to go with the direction of supporting adoption, which we believe is also supporting this cause.
Thanks very much, David. Michael, I think this will be a question for you. We have someone asking or noting that data governance is a combination of people, processes, technology. We have these new features, but often the human factor is underestimated. How are we solving this particular challenge with Generation 2?
So I think the person asking just destroyed this Q&A because it's gonna go for about 2 hours. No, that's a great
Your
question.
favorite topic, right?
That's a great question, actually. So when we are seeing the challenges that our customers and organizations are facing, we always have, let's say, automation on our minds. So as opposed to, let's say, the traditional governance tools and governance approaches, where the idea is someone is writing documents and people are supposed to observe the documents. Our idea is that, yes, you should write the documents, but you should think of a way how the governance policy can be algorithmically enforced. And this is what we have built already into this this first increment of the self-driving platform. So on one hand, we are trying to reduce the reliance on human factor in terms of, let's say, observing, following the policies. On the other hand, we are seeing really a growing gap between the needs for speed. Basically, the businesses do need to innovate fast. They need the data fast, and then you have the focus on governance. Because we have the governance embedded in the platform, we believe that it kind of solves itself. In other words, you can get whatever you would normally be tempted to do a quick and dirty way. You can get it in a high quality, and you can get it with the governance embedded if you have a platform like Ataccama One.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Michael. We have another question here on someone is saying that they have a data governance program in place already, but it's not working very well for them. What kind of advice would you give? David, I think this could be a great question for you, or Kushi, if you're ready to jump in.
Yeah, I can take it because it's quite actually a similar answer to the previous question. It's common that the data governance initiatives in many companies are not successful because, in a nutshell, the people in the company usually don't have enough power and resources to actually continue with the data governance initiative. As we are stating in the video, it's not a one-time activity. So even though you create your data catalog, if it's not going to be up to date in a month, then it's like money wasted, right? You didn't have to do it. So for us, what we are trying to do is we are trying to focus on the automation to make sure that the data governance solution is always up to date, so people can build trust in it. And in order to increase the adoption, which I talked about in the previous question, we are trying to provide benefits for all personas that are somehow interested in data. That's starting with data engineers, data analysts, but also the business users, business system owners, for example. And once we change the mindset for them, the data governance is not additional work they have to do. So somebody's forcing them to do this, to document something somewhere. We are actually flipping the site, and we are giving them a tool that's giving them some things automatically. So such as overall data quality for a system. This is a really important information to have as a system owner. But to get it, it would be a really time-consuming process. So once we provide value like this, for example, aggregated data quality for system or detection of PI data on systems, the system owners actually start using the tool automatically without somebody forcing them to do so. And this really improves the adoption. So the answer for us, make sure everything you do is always up to date, and we do that through the automation. And in order to improve the adoption of the solution, we are focusing on providing some business value for the end users from the very beginning, not forcing them to do data governance as it used to be in the past.
Perfect. Thank you, David. That's a great answer. I know we're coming up to the top of the hour. I'm really pleased to see that there's quite a few people still with us. So as long as you're here, we'll be answering your questions. question for Roman. Andy is saying that in his experience, while data quality kind of lands at a high level, the concept of MDM is alien to a lot of business users. How can you overcome that knowledge gap and help the tool land with people who maybe are not as data savvy or tech savvy?
I can take the question. Just don't tell them. Don't tell them, right?
Yeah, sure.
Don't tell them you're doing MDM. Just tell them you're gonna give them the high quality data whenever they need it.
Perfect.
Maybe Roman has a better technical answer, but this is what we are trying to do. Really, we are trying to. We don't think that people should understand whether they need to do profiling or cataloging or quality or MDM or reference data management. People have a need for high quality data whenever they need it, in whatever shape and form they need it, right? So our kind of vision is we're gonna give them what they need, and the platform will worry about should data cleansing be applied or should MDM be applied. Roman, sorry, I stole your question.
That's okay. Actually, I was going to say something similar, and that we are trying to actually split it. So for the business user, you get the 360 view of the assets that you want. If you are talking customer MDM, you'll get all the information about your customer in one place, right? On the background, if you have technical users that do want to tweak kind of the rules or tweak how actually the golden records are constructed, they can. We allow them to do it. It's like separate and it's hidden from the business user.
Okay, thank you very much. David, we're getting quite a few questions around the business terms and the glossary. Are you able to speak more to those capabilities?
Yeah, I noticed. So there was one question about the hierarchies in the glossary, if one term can have like multiple parents, and also about the detection. So the glossary is completely flexible, so you can actually define multiple logical views on top of each other. So the hierarchies can be defined. They can be different for each data domain, for example, which is a very common. If you switch your point of view to some domain, you usually change the structure a bit, right? So this is definitely supported, and the hierarchy management is really complex and functional for all the use cases. And for the detection is happening on any level of the hierarchy. So there was some example with some high-level rule on a, let's say, data domain level. This is also possible. So you can have really specific rules on atomic elements, data element levels, such as email, contact information. But you can also have a detection, for example, for customer in general, not really specifying any data assets.
Perfect. Thank you. Okay, a question here on to what extent can you discover and automatically catalog data or data files from a data lake? Well, Roman, I think this might be a good one for you. Otherwise, Michael, I know you like the data lake topic as well.
I guess this one is for me. For us, data lake is just another storage. So we can do actually pretty much the same thing as for any other place. The main difference is that for data lakes, we actually try to utilize the power of the cluster behind the data lake. So there might be a Spark cluster, it might be a Databricks cluster, it doesn't matter. So we transform basically everything that we need to do into a Spark job. It runs on the distributed platform, and it collects the same metadata as for any other data source. It finds the business terms, it can detect anomalies, it can calculate the data quality, either based on rules or the automated one. We can do the MDM on top of the data lake data and so on. So it doesn't really change anything for us.
Thank you, Roman.
Thank you,
Roman, I've noticed there's quite a few questions around our cloud architecture and our integration with AWS and Azure and GCP. Maybe can you give a brief overview of what our hybrid cloud architecture will look under Ataccama 1 Gen 2?
Mm-hmm. I think we actually already touched on this, but in general, we will have basically one place where we will install the main piece for Ataccama 1, right? So let's say it's in cloud, let's say it's in AWS. That's where we install the repository and all the relevant parts of Ataccama 1 for the core platform. But then if there are, let's say, other clouds, let's say there is a part of the data in Google Cloud or in Azure, we would just install our data processing engine, a small piece of the platform, to sit in that cloud, to sit closer to the data so that we don't have to transfer all the data over, which may be bad for performance reasons, for the price of the data transfer, of course, for security reasons. So for these reasons, we actually install the data processing piece right next to the data, and we run the processing there and just transfer metadata over into the single repository.
Thank you, Roman. That's great. I do have one more interesting question I see on the chat. And the question says, when Gen 2 is out, what are your plans for the future? And it says it may be a little early to talk about this since we already have such a huge release, but what are some of the things that we may expect in the future of Ataccama? I'm not sure if David or Michael want to jump in and kind of talk about a little more about the long-term roadmap and some high-level features that we can see or items we can see in the future.
Yeah. So I'll start if David wants to add anything. So with the launch and with the GA coming this spring, what we did is that we have built the base for really what we call the self-driving. The base is our central data processing engine, let's say, with all the capabilities that Roman just talked about. It can deploy jobs wherever it needs, etc., etc. And this is really our core for anything that needs data processing. It starts with the profiling, discovery, then cleansing, matching. Everything goes through this engine. And now the second part of the base really is what we call metadata core, and it's not just a metadata repository. It's actually, again, very capable engine, which is both collecting, deriving, storing the metadata, but also it's using the metadata to inform and configure the processing in all parts of the platform. And the third component is what we call AI core. That's the place where various parts of the platform actually run their AI processing. It has its own storage of the data that it needs, including the user feedback, by the way. And this is the base. Now, on top of the base, we have all the functionality that we talked about, and the self-driving capability, really to the extent where you will be able, or the users will be able to, as we say, define the intent and get the result. We are gradually bringing to the functionalities of the platform. So what we are releasing at the moment is when you have this capability in the automated profiling, cataloging, data quality monitoring, data quality as such. And in the upcoming releases, we will be bringing the additional functionalities to this, let's say, level of automation. If you're familiar with the car industry, car analogy, they're talking about the levels of automation or the autonomous driving. So let's say we have few modules on the highest level, and several of the modules are on the level of, let's say, augmented. So in the upcoming releases, we will be bringing those to the highest level as well. That's in general what we are planning. And you can imagine it's on one hand challenging, on the other hand very exciting job.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you all for participating in this Q&A. We see there's quite a few questions from that we won't be able to get to, which really resonates with the fact that everyone really enjoyed the topic, and this is a very hot topic in our space. And we really wanted to thank you all for taking the time to ask the questions. We'd be more than happy to continue the conversation offline, and we really encourage you to reach out to our team. The best way to reach us is through our website, where you'll find different ways of contacting our team. And we would love to have those conversations with you and continue the conversation moving forward. I would like to kind of officially wrap up the session today. Maybe I wanted to hand it over to Michael to see if there are any last words that you wanted to share. And maybe if Michael, if you can maybe talk a little bit about what is available today for the beta users and what they can expect from us today.
Thank you, Afshin. I'm quite not comfortable with how many questions we have left unanswered. I'm thinking wherever we have an email for the person, we will try to reach out and discuss the answer or the question, individually. Just wanted to add that. I actually don't know technically if for everyone we have emails. In case we don't, please reach out individually. Last words. So we did talk about what is available. If you are interested in showcasing and potentially testing the beta version, please do reach out to our sales team, either directly or via website. As we mentioned, there is, let's say, a commercial incentive for those who will do it. It's the 6 months of free use of the Gen2. So that's on that front. And I would really like to end with thanking everyone for joining us to discuss this exciting future. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.